What's up, everybody? Pastor Matt here. Is being a pastor the hardest job in the world? Well, let's talk about that today. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Matt. I'm the pastor of Gospel Fellowship PCA, a Reformed church just north of Pittsburgh. We love Jesus. We're on a mission to share the good news of the gospel with the world. If you're looking for a church like that, come visit us, Gospel Fellowship PCA. All right, to the question, is being a pastor the hardest job in the world? Well, I hope this video doesn't come across as some kind of a strange flex or anything like that. And I certainly wouldn't want to debate people from any other number of professions about which job is actually the hardest. For instance, I would not want to trade places at all with anybody who's performing a brain surgery right now, nor would I want to trade places with somebody who's landing a jumbo jet with hundreds of lives, fully responsible as they approach the runway, nor would I want to trade places with a soldier who's defending our national security somewhere around planet Earth. There are obviously a number of jobs that are incredibly difficult, and probably most of you I wouldn't want to trade places with because your job is very hard too. And I certainly don't mean to denigrate that in any way. However, because I'm a pastor, I see things from a pastor's perspective, and one of the things that I would say that's unusual about the pastoral vocation is how multidisciplinary it is in its responsibilities. Here's what I mean by that. If you think about what a pastor does, he is first of all a preacher, okay? So there's obviously a great amount of communication skills that are necessary for that. He's also a writer. He's writing newsletters. He's writing sermons. Maybe he's writing some chapters or some articles or some scholarly contributions. Put those things together. Speaking and writing, you've got a communications degree right there. But more than that, he's supposed to be a counselor. He is a sage guide. He is a mentor. He must understand the psychological composition of the human inner workings. And so there's kind of a psychology degree necessary in there in order to be a good counselor, isn't there? But more than that, he's expected to be an organizational leader. He is supposed to be a visionary, one who can see the complexity of the church as an organization. He must needs be able to read spreadsheets and do vision casting plans and 3-year plans and lead meetings like the session and deacons and the congregational meetings. And so there's kind of an MBA element necessary, isn't there, for organizational leadership and business management. There's a real side to the church's organizational complexity, isn't there? But more than that, he's also expected to be a scholar. Think about this. He must be conversant with the languages of Greek and Hebrew. He must be one who is familiar with church history. He must be one who is familiar with the Bible and theology. He is a theologian and a philosopher all rolled into one. It used to be, back in the olden days, the pastor was indisputably the wisest and most well-read man for the sake of the whole community. Now today, we might obviously debate whether or not that's true. I'm sure most people don't think of the pastor as the most wizened individual in the community. We might think of professors, college teachers. We might think of, I don't know, school administrators or perhaps even politicians, Lord help us, as the wisest people in our community. But back in the day, there was no doubt whatsoever that it was the pastor who was the sage, the guru, and the wise man to whom most people came with matters both personal and theological as well as communal. And so I would argue, based on the pastor's broad scope of skills and knowledge that he must have, that certainly being a pastor is one of the hardest jobs that one might possibly undertake. He is a communication specialist, an organizational leader. He is a thought leader. He is a philosopher, a professor, and a counselor, all rolled into one. What job could be more demanding than that? Now, again, this isn't some strange flex. I'm not trying to brag about what I do as against what you do. What you do, dear viewer, is very important, and I don't mean to denigrate that in any way. Even if you're not professionally employed in terms of a paid vocation, you still have valuable contribution too. What I am saying is that you should probably think about praying for your pastor from time to time because he has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. And so this video actually turns into a prayer request, doesn't it? Because if you think about the demands that are placed upon the pastor, some of them are very fair demands, some of them are rather unfair demands. Your pastor is certainly under a tremendous amount of pressure, and the expectations for his performance are extraordinary. So, the next time you think of your pastor as just an employee of the church, he's the custodian who sweeps the carpet after everybody leaves or picks up the bulletins from the pews after everybody's gone. Think of him as an organizational expert, a communications expert, a scholar of ancient languages, a counselor to the aggrieved, and hopefully, one of the wiser voices in your community. All right, thanks for checking into this YouTube channel. Hey, real quick, little advertisement here. Second edition of this book, Hold Fast to Faith, a devotional commentary on the Westminster Confession of Faith, is now available in paperback. You can get that on Amazon.com. I'll place a link in the description below. Thanks for checking in. Pastors out there, I appreciate you and love you too. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.